During my diabetes presentations, people would always ask, how did you figure out which were the best foods for you to eat? And I would say, my mother figured it out. Let me explain. When I got out of the hospital, my mother made me pack up my potato chips, my cookies, my pretzels, my little pizza pies, my cakes, other pies, my bottles of soda. She made me pack all of that up and return these foods to the grocery store. When the store clerk asked me why I was returning 3 shopping carts of food, I said, I'm a diabetic and I can't eat these foods anymore. And you see the woman behind me with that crazy look on her face? That's my mother. Actually, she made me return these foods. I love your food. I really don't want to return it, but I don't have a choice. When the store clerk saw the look of desperation on my face and the stern look on my mother's face, I think she felt sorry for me. And she allowed me to return all the food, and she gave me a store credit over $250. But my mother took my $250 credit and used that to buy Brussels sprouts. I hate Brussels sprouts. She bought broccoli, spinach, fish. It was like she was trying to find every possible food that she knew. Growing up, I didn't like these foods. And I said, Ma, you know I don't like these foods. But my mother just gave me this look. And I knew I'd better just shut up. So I had to eat Brussels sprouts, broccoli, spinach, fish, every day. But that wasn't the end of it. My mother took my favorite ice cream, Breyers. You know what Breyers is? It's the rich ice cream. It's not the cheap stuff. It's the rich ice cream, vanilla bean. She put the ice cream in the kitchen sink. I said, Mom, my ice cream is going to melt. Why are you putting my ice cream in the sink? She goes, son, you don't have any room in your freezer for the Brussels sprouts, the broccoli, and the spinach. And I just thought, oh man, okay, all right, Dwayne. She's only going to be here for 2 weeks. You got to hang in there. But it was rough watching my favorite ice cream just sit there in the sink and melt. And people would say, but Dwayne, you're a grown man. How can your mother make you do these things? And I would say, have you met my mother? Have you ever seen my mother in action? I grew up with this woman. You don't mess with my mother. You just do what she says. Your objective is to stay alive. So if you had met my mother, you would realize I had no choice. I had no choice. And in addition to my mother, there was my sister Margot and my daughter Cynthia. They were on her side. 3 women in my house. I didn't have a chance. But I'm thinking, okay, this is temporary. It's only a couple weeks. They'll be gone and everything can return to normal. But a funny thing happened. My blood glucose level started to come down. From 300, 350, 400. It was steadily coming down. And when I would call the endocrinologist, he would just say, yeah, it's an anomaly. Go back to the diet plan that the hospital put you on. But I wasn't going to go back and tell my mother what the doctor said. I felt it's only a couple weeks. I'll hang in there. Eventually, my mother's got to go back home. My daughter's got to go back to her job in Pittsburgh, and my sister's got to go back to her job in Cleveland, and then everything will return to normal. But my blood glucose level kept coming down. And it's hard to argue with my mother when you're getting better. Well, that's enough about me and my mother. So let's get started on your journey to wellness by focusing on nutrition. Due to the lack of several key nutrient factors such as vitamins, minerals, enzymes, and fiber, there are 5 major types of dead food that can harm the body over a period of years due to an excess production of insulin, inflammation, and oxidation, which can lead to type 2 diabetes as well as other systemic health issues. Number 1 is any processed food that is made with refined flour, and that also includes some of the starches. Examples of these high glycemic foods include white bread, white rice, white pasta, white potatoes. Are you starting to get the pattern here? If it's white, it ain't right. Other foods include some cereals, pancakes, and pastries, as well as starchy vegetables such as corn. Number 2 is any processed food made with refined sugar or any other processed sugar. Examples include all food made with high fructose corn syrup, refined sugar, sucrose, maltose, dextrose, anything ose, that is anything ending in OSE, molasses, brown sugar, artificial sweeteners, and processed honey, as well as food and beverages such as soda, diet soda, bottled juice, soft drinks, candy, jams, cookies, cakes, some cereals, and some condiments. And if I had to select just one ingredient to be wary of to avoid, it's high fructose corn syrup. High fructose corn syrup is 20-30 times more powerful than refined sugar. And high fructose corn syrup drives the cravings, and studies have shown that it fuels diabetes more so than any other one ingredient. So avoid high fructose corn syrup. And they're putting it in everything. It's in the yogurt, it's in the ketchup, it's in the salad dressing. It's in the fruit drinks and the store-bought baked goods such as cookies and pies. Even some of the whole grain breads contain high fructose corn syrup. It's in everything, so be careful. The third type of dead food is trans fat, or any processed food made with partially hydrogenated oil. Examples of these foods include stick margarines, French fries, potato chips, pretzels, cookies, fried foods, donuts, crackers, store-bought baked goods, and many of the other packaged foods. The fourth type of dead food is saturated fat, which is found in animal meat, processed meat, lunch meat, fried foods, and some dairy products such as cow's pasteurized and homogenized milk, hard cheese, butter, and ice cream. Saturated fats are also found in refined coconut oil, palm oil, and other refined tropical oils. The fifth and final category of dead food is a catch-all category called drugs. Examples include alcohol, tobacco, caffeine, over-the-counter drugs, prescription drugs, and recreational drugs. Yeah, I know what you're thinking. I've just named every one of your favorite foods. But think about it for a minute. How do you think you became diabetic? Unfortunately, most of these so-called foods are nothing more than packaged chemicals masquerading as food. But don't despair. I will provide some examples of how you can eat some of these so-called dead foods in a healthy manner. So hang in there.